Hey, hey, lovely people. It is your girl, Kia Simone. Yes, I'm here for story time. So just sit back and just, get ready for this story. Tonight's story is the time I unknowingly became an accomplice in a love triangle. You guys are probably wondering, how do you become an accomplice in a love triangle? Okay, so let's just get this story going. So, just for the sake of the story, we're gonna name this friend Chardonnay, okay? So her name will be Chardonnay, like the wine. So, Chardonnay um met up with a guy that she was feeling dude. Now, Chardonnay knew that the dude was married, but Chardonnay was like, we're just gonna be friends, yada 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 yada. So Chardonnay went to a Christmas party with the guy. And at the Christmas party, the guy had his wife. So Chardonnay, was like, hi, nice to meet you to the wife. And, it just all seemed innocent, right? So Chardonnay, on the ride home was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, he's fine, he's fine, he's fine, he's fine. And I'm like, but he has a whole wife. But Chardonnay was like, well, I'm not trying to, get with him like that. I just was saying that, it's been a long time since I seen him, and brother, man, is fine. So, okay, not thinking much of it. Okay, just want to get home. So, after that, somehow, another event happened that I didn't attend, and Chardonnay says, "Well, I'm gonna go meet up with. Let's just name him Troy for the sake of the story." So we got Chardonnay and Troy. So let me just try to remember the name Troy. So, Chardonnay was like, I'm gonna meet with Troy, just to, catch up. Okay, so I'm sitting there like, well, why do you want to meet up with Troy to catch up? What are you guys catching up about? I mean, that's like a bad thing. And then, Chardonnay was like, I know. He is like, I know he is so tempting. He is like, he's a temptation. So I'm like, girl, do not meet up with Troy. Do not meet with Troy. So Chardonnay went ahead and met up with Troy. So she come back and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Troy smells so good. Oh my gosh." So I'm like, "Well, how did you smell Troy?" And I know we can smell a man, from afar, but that means that they probably hugged each other, yada 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 yada. Okay. So I'm like, "Now, Chardonnay, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. That's not a good look." So I was like, "You want to kind of, because he has a wife, right?" And I'm a woman myself, and that's the worst thing to be cheated on. And then the fact that he's married, you just met his wife at the Christmas party. So Chardonnay, she's trying to still convince me or convince herself that it's all innocent. Okay? Now keep in mind, put a pin in it. Chardonnay met his wife at the Christmas party, right? Okay, so she knows what the wife looked like. She was introduced to the wife. Okay. So, I've already warned Chardonnay, like, even if it's innocent, you don't want to really get involved in this situation. You just want to step back, you know, just step back because it looks like it doesn't seem appropriate for a married man to be, hanging out with you on a separate occasion and you guys are not discussing business. It sounds like a recipe for disaster pretty much. So, I didn't think much of it because I have my own life, I have my own things going on. So, a little bit later, we go out and we're at a like a sports bar. And so, we're kind of like far from where we live. And it was just a weird location. So we're at the sports bar, we're chilling, enjoying the food, chilling. So next thing you know, who walks in? Troy. Troy. How did Troy find us? How did Troy find us at the sports bar? So, okay, I'm, still trying to give my good friend Chardonnay the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, maybe this is strange, but maybe he did just show up at this particular sports bar. So let's just ride with that. Okay, so, we sit at the table, we're having small talk. So Troy came with his friends. He had a couple of buddies. I can't really remember how many guys he had with him because I was just like, I don't want no parts of this. Although y'all saying it's innocent, like he just popped up. I don't want any parts of this because I don't know what's going on here. And again, you remember she dipped off with him after the Christmas party. So I don't know what y'all got going on, but I don't want to be any parts of it. So, we, kicked it the night or whatever, whatever. Okay. So, conversation. We did realize that Troy's birthday was the same month as mine. We were talking again. You might be like, well, why she's telling me this? Just put a pin in that. Also, we'll get to that part later. So, just small talk, like, hey, what sign are you? Yada yada yada. Just small talk we were having. So we get ready to leave the sports bar, after eating our food, chit chatting with the guys, we go to the car. So, you know how you sense that something is not right because the body language is like they were too comfortable with each other. So when we got ready to we were walking to the car and she was driving. And so when he was, opening up her door for her to get in, he was a little too close to her to just be a old friend. So I was just like, okay. And then she kind of like backed up because it was like, oh, I don't want my girl to know that we done did a little bit more than just talking. So when I tell you like this is the beginning of it, okay? So this is where I said the time I unknowingly became an accomplice in a love triangle. So with that being said, okay, I'm just trying to mind my business. Now, if the next place we go and he show up, I know it's something more. So, a little time passed, and we are out with the rest of the girls. So it was about six of us out. So we're just having a ladies, a ladies event. We're just all ladies, just how sometimes you get together with your girls and you guys are just chilling, having dinner, whatever. Okay, so we're just all chilling, just kicking it. So who disappears? Chardonnay. So she said, we're all, eating. And she said, oh, I'll be right back. I got to go to the bathroom. Okay, so Chardonnay goes to the bathroom. So after a long period of time, I was like, where is Chardonnay? So, okay, it's my girl. Okay, is she in the bathroom sick? Like, did she fall out? Where is Chardonnay? So I get up to go look for Chardonnay. But before I can make it to the bathroom, Chardonnay is at the bar. Now, Chardonnay is not even 5 feet tall. So she's like a little 4 feet something. And so Chardonnay feet are just dangling from the bar chair. So I'm like, why is she at the bar? So I looked. Troy is with her. So now how did Troy find us at this? Now this is a whole nother location. Like we're on a whole nother side of town this time. Again, we're at all these far random places. So now this time I'm like, now how did Troy find us here? It's just another coincidence that Troy just keep ending up at the same location that we're at. So they're just at the bar giggling, like hee hee ha ha, kikiing or whatever. And I'm like, what? Okay, where is Troy's wife? So I was like, oh, so you just left us at the table. So I walked up and I'm like, so, you just left us at the table. Like you just came over here and having a whole nother date conversation or whatever. Like the way they were hee hee ha ha and cozied up at the bar, it was just like she had no intentions of coming back. And she had ordered her food. So you just left your food at the table. It was just crazy. So I'm like, okay, we don't want to be, I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, this is like weird. So I, go back to the table and I'm like, they're like, well, where's Chardonnay? I'm like, she's over there with the guy that I've been telling you about, that Troy guy. And so they're like, interesting. And so, the women at the table that's been cheated on by their husband or boyfriend or whatever, they just like, I know she ain't over there, with somebody else's husband. Uh-uh, uh-uh. So, Chardonnay, she, we all ate our food or whatever. So I don't know what you want to do with your food because she never came back. So we are sitting here like, okay, this is some weird type of stuff. So, we end up leaving out the restaurant and Chardonnay end up walking out with the guy. So now she's not even walking to her car. So we're like, okay, do we need to follow you? Make sure you're okay, even though you're treading dangerous waters, you're still our girl. We just need to get you together. So Chardonnay, now she's in the truck with the guy in a public location. I'm like, it's daytime. You just that brave that you're just gonna carry the conversation over to the car, his truck now. Okay, I don't want any parts of this. I'm not trying to become a part of this love triangle because this man has a whole wife. So, she's like, no, we're just friends, this and that, yada, 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 yada. So now Chardonnay is the type of person that in the past you can just, when you come over her house, she'll let you in. So again, after the restaurant situation, I go over Chardonnay's house to drop something off. Now she knew I was coming, but I think she forgot that I knew what his truck looked like. So I'm like, this is not like the same day. So before you guys get confused, the next time I had to drop something off, maybe in like another week or two later or whatever. So I pull up in her driveway and I see this truck that I recognize from the restaurant. And I'm like, that's the same truck. So at that point, I was like, okay, before you just assume, look at that license plate to see what birthday is on there. So I looked at the license plate and that's the birthday he mentioned at the restaurant. So yes, it's him. So I'm like, Chardonnay, Chardonnay, Chardonnay. So I knock on the door. So now she don't want to let me in. She just like came to the door with whatever I came to pick up or whatever. So I'm looking like, girl, you is messy. You are messy. You are messy. But at the end of the day, I'm saying sharing this story is because, you got to be careful who your friends are because your friends will get you caught up in some stuff. And one of the friends that was at the table with us, took it real personal because she was like, women like you are the women that, get dragged, you get killed, you get, when we see red. So I don't know what that friend particularly had went through, but it was just like, Chardonnay, you are putting us in a bad situation because if that woman pops up on these scenes and we're with you and we don't even know that, initially we didn't after I figured it out, but if we don't know what's going on, then she starts shooting or something happened, we are basically in the middle of a love triangle that we didn't even know nothing about. So I just, had to personally stop, hanging with Chardonnay. And I did, come to her and tell her, how I felt about the situation because I'm like, every time we go out, somehow this Troy guy keeps popping up. And that it's not right. And you keep trying to convince me that he's your friend, but if he's your friend, then why you're not, why where's his wife? You know? So while y'all off at these restaurants and these weird pop-ups, it just seemed a little off. So yeah, Chardonnay had me involved in her mess, and it was some more to the story, but those are just the two major ones. When she was at the restaurant, and I'm like, you left your girls to go sit at the bar with some guy that you were feeling. So at the end of the day, she still tries to say that, like I say, even though we're not as close as we used to be, she tries to it was other stuff that came about, but she still try to say that, it was nothing between them. But if you were cool, just friends, why you guys don't follow each other on social media? Because he has a wife, and I'm sure his wife knows something ain't right with you. So he's friends with other people that were in that circle, but you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But yeah, a real friend would not put you in that situation. If you're gonna do dirt, you do that dirt by yourself. Don't bring other people along, and just keep bringing people around. Um, that's just it. So that's enough for story time. I'll see you guys next time for another episode of Story Time. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment to my channel, which is Kea Simone. Every Friday night, I do an episode of CMK Ladies Lounge. The CMK Lady Lounge is three women, Crystal, Misha, and myself. We just talk about normal things. We just kick it like, three good friends. And it's 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern every Friday night. Also, make sure you get a copy of my book, From Pain to Love. It's available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Right now, it's for the low price of $10. If you enjoyed story time, let me know, and I will continue to bring you wonderful stories. Until next time, I just want to say I appreciate you, love you, have a good night. Peace.